Everyone, welcome back to harstlogics with Calvin Sass here. New tutorial. We are going to learn the part 22. Yes, yesterday we were looking at the patches. Yeah, that is in the past part. We were learning on part. Yeah, we were learning on the part 21, which were the suppliers. We saw how to add, to list, to create, and to insert. Also, we learned on how to edit, update, and delete the suppliers into the database. So by now, you should be in a position to properly operate using the CRUD function in Laravel 12. With those tutorials that I've given you previously are more than enough. So in today tutorial, we are going to learn on how to manage our stocks. So to insert, edit, update our stock into the database. So in this one, the tutorial is simply to give you rich knowledge on how you can manage your pharmacy system stock. Okay. Yeah. So I know very well that there are a lot to be done in the stock, but literally I'm just going to give you enough overview on how to do the stock management. Okay, so I will request you before we start the tutorial that you like my YouTube channel. Yeah, supporting me by liking the channel, I will be grateful, really grateful. And please share these tutorials with your loved one. If you truly care about your loved one, you share whatever you have which is precious with them. And because this tutorial is for free, they can also get their time to learn together and have new knowledge, new day. So I say that YouTube is a community and we form YouTube to share knowledge for free. And that is the reason why I request you to share this with your knowledge. In case you have any issue, you have any challenge, you can always leave comment at the comment section. So I also leave my contact in my website. My website is at www.harstlogic.com. So today I just want us to start by creating we are going to create the sidebar item first. But before we do that, let's ensure that our Laragon server is running. Yeah, so it is running. It's already running. You can see, just ignore that. And then let's also start our browser. That is, we are going to start our Firefox browser. Let me open my Firefox browser here. I normally prefer using Firefox because debugging PHP and also even the React JavaScript is easy while using Firefox than when you're using the Chrome. Chrome also is huge and sometimes it consumes a lot of memory. So the reason why I prefer using the Firefox. If you have a different browser, then that is still okay. So myself, I use Firefox. So in our project, I will click on Laragon as usual, go to menu, www, then you navigate to the project folder to open your project. So it will take some time to load. So in this case, I will click sign in to get into my project interface. Also, I will log into my database. So here we are going to add a new menu item. So we have the customer. So below the customer there, down there, we are going to add a new menu item called, I think we are going to put it beneath this medicine. So we are going to add stock. Okay. So let's first of all create that. We come to our visual code, Visual Studio Code, and then we go to layout. So layout, so when you are like this, you go to resources, views, and then layout. We created layout, then sidebar. So the sidebar here is still clean. Let's create below medicine here. Let's create a new item called stock. Okay. I'm going to call this stocks. So under the stocks, what you're going to do is to make it active. And yeah, no, I know we shall not use the capsules this time round, but let's use a different one. I think we can use boxes. I think we can use boxes like that. So let's come and refresh this page and see how it looks like. So we see, yeah, boxes, this stand for stocks. So if we click that, we can see that the URL is not there because we've not created this URL. So let's copy and create the URL within our web.php. Okay, so let's put stock down here. So we can comment out and write stocks, and then we put our get function. So our get function is going to be admin stocks, and then we are going to put our class as list. Let's just use list, that is what is common for us. And then we put other one, so we get, then we are going to use class create. So this one is going to be admin strokes. Then we are going to use the class, we are going to use create. So in our class, let's put this class as create, or we can use add. Okay, let's use add. So let me just I can copy these things here and paste it down there so that I don't waste time. So I will come and paste this one. So I don't need this one, I don't need this one. Okay, and this one is out. This one we say, we can say store, then edit, update, then delete. These are okay. So we just need to make a controller for the stock. Okay, so our controller for the stock is going to be stock controller. Or we rather, we can just use the medicine controller because this is same as medicine. So let's just use medicine controller. Yeah, we will just use medicine controller. And yeah, so our model for that is going to be stock model. So we are going to create that because we are going to have a new table. Okay, we're going to use a new table model. So we are going to use medicine stock model, or we just use stock model. I think that one is better. Okay, so let's create the models quickly. Create the model before we create the table. We are going to create the table, but before that, I think the best way is to create the table first. So first of all, let's just copy this, paste. You paste here so that we make everything uniform, so we'll know that this is for stock. It was avoiding the confusion. So this is ready. So we come to our database here, and we are going to create, under the pharmacy, we are going to create a new table, and our table we are going to call the stock. Okay, yeah, let's just call it stock for simplicity. So we call this table stock. And in this table, I think we are going to pass some primary some foreign keys like medicine ID. Also, we are going to pass we are also going to pass the batch ID. Okay, so those are batches. So we are going to pass the batch ID. Okay, maybe close that one. Yeah, so batch ID is very much important. So that means that we will implement later or now to create batches. That is medicine batches. So the first one that we will have is ID as usual. We have the primary ID. So under the primary ID is just integer. Then we don't use the length. We use auto increment. Then it is a primary key. Then we have I said the medicine ID, medicine ID. Then in medicine ID, we also use the integer. Let's use it null, okay? And then we just leave it like that. Then we have the next one is batch ID, batch ID. Then it is also integer, null, okay? Or in batch ID, let's use it can be maybe bigger. So let's use varchar 255 for that case. Sorry, I meant it this one for batch ID. So this one is varchar 255, then null. Then we have the next one is expiry date. So that is medicine expiry date, date of expiry. So that one we are going to use date. Okay, then we are going to make it null. Then let's create like how many rows we add, like how many columns. Let me see. We still need the quantity, MRP, rate, then at around 6. Okay, so let's create like 6. We add, then we come here and add quantity. Okay, yeah, we need to know the quantity during the stop. How much do we have? Quantity. Then the quantity we are going to use varchar 55 and then null. Okay, then we have MRP. We are going to use varchar 255 then null. So MRP, what we mean with MRP is that what we call in full MRP is maximum retail price. Okay, so maximum retail price of the medicine. And then we also have we're going to use let me say we are going to use price per unit or simply rate. I think the best term we are going to use is rate. Okay, so after MRP we are going to use rate. So rate we also use varchar 255 and then null. Okay, then we have the last one as usual is deleted. We use tiny integer. Then as defined, 0 is 0. So 0, we said we come to our comment section and say 0 is equal to not deleted, and then we say 1 is equal to deleted. So that one is very clear to another user who or programmer will be coming to interact with this. Then created at, updated at. So created as, we use date and time, date time, then this is date time as well, null, null. Okay, so after ensuring that everything is okay, just confirm in case you have maybe a grammatical error somewhere, spelling error. You check that medicine, everything is okay, then you hit save down here. So our stock table is ready. Okay, down here we have our stock table. We have all these fields which we have created. So when our table is ready, let's just copy the name. We are going to use that in our, we are going to use stock in our model, table model. So we are going to create the table model. Okay, to create table model, you come to our terminal down here and you say php artisan make model, then we call it make model. then we call it let's call it stock model. stock stock model stocks model. Okay, stock model, that's okay. And then you hit enter. So we have stock model created here in the model. So you come to apps, then models, apps, models, then stock model. So you need to import other functions like no, we don't need that. Let me see, we have this. Okay, we have protected table, then we put our table name here, stock. Okay, let's just come to one of the models that we had already done, like medicine, and copy everything here. Okay, so let's copy this, the factory function. Okay, then paste it there. You come back to our protected, then copy this so that we use the hash factory function. So you paste it here. Okay, so that is done. So stock table, when you come here, we use this the stock to, so we can copy this one. Actually, just copy the way it is. Sometimes we work with copy to move faster, so we just take whatever we have there, paste it here, and then we delete this one extra. We don't need this. Okay, then you save the file, come back to the model, because we'll need also these ones. We use them uniformly. You can copy the way it is, and then come down here. You can put it down there, and then save. Then we close this one. We don't need it. We don't need it for now. So if in case we need them, we close this one as well. So we have stock. So you copy stock here and replace medicine. Okay, so it's deleted, it's already there, so that one we will check. So there is no problem with that. So we are set with our table model, so we can close it for now. And then what we are going to do is we are going now to create our classes in the controller. So we are using controller, the stock controller, we are using medicine controller. So let's jump to the controller to open it. Okay, so the medicine controller is now open. We can close here, and now we are going to make stock function down here. So we can say stocks stock starts. Let's use that, stock start. And then we can say public function. Let me copy this, copy public function list. So this one is public function list instead of destroy list. We just said list, so we are going to list the stock. Okay, so we can say get record medicine model, not medicine model. We have get record, which is going to be stock model. So let's just copy that. So where is our stock model? We have stock model here, medicine model. Actually this one needs also to change, return stock self. Yeah, return self. So this one is going to be stock model. So the reason why we need to import that up here as well, we are going to use stock model. So let's say this apps model, and then bring in stock model. Okay, so stock model is what we are going to use down here, not medicine. So we are going to use get record in the stock model. So this one is going to be stock list, and inside here we are going to have admin stock, then list. Okay, so this is Okay, so this is not going to work this way because we already have the list up there. So let's just use this name called stock, and then we put it here. Okay, store stock, edit stock. So we just change everything to make it a little bit add stock, and then here we have update. We don't need something that is going to be um, giving us errors. Okay, so we have the stock, list stock, and then we have add stock, store stock, edit stock, update stock, and delete stock. Those are the classes we are going to use. So that is well. And now we just need to create this folder called stock. In the admin folder which we have admin. Then let's right click and create the stock folder, and then we are going to create the list. So let's come to medicine the way it is, and then we copy everything what that we have here. Then we come to stock and then paste. Okay, so we have these things ready. Okay, we have them ready. So now what we need to do is that whenever we are calling this function, the first one is called, let me see what we have. So I can close that one, and then I come to our stock. So let's add. So we have list and edit. So right, so we have list is already there, but now let's just ensure that whatever we have inside here is clean. Okay, let's ensure it is clean. We are going to see what columns we are going to add. So I'm going to remove all of the for each functions here and save. Then we are going to make sure that everything here is reflecting the stock list. So let's just call this stock list. Okay, and then here we have home. Let's call this stock. Okay, then add new. That's okay. So here we are just putting stock. That is what the URL that we have for stock. Then what do we need to check again? Here we call it stock list. And yeah, so let me just first of all know which are these fields that we have. So we have the medicine ID. Okay, so here we start with medicine ID. Okay, medicine. So medicine IDs, what we are going to say is we are going to call it medicine. Then we have batch ID. Yeah, let's just put it batch ID for now. We will later on change it to batch. So for us to easily know, we just say batch ID. We'll call it batch because these are will be coming from several batches from the batch table. Okay, we'll get to know what is a medicine batch. Then we are going also to have expiry date. So we add the expiry ex, ex, expiry date. Okay, let's just call it date of expiry. That is for the medicine. Then we have quantity. Okay, quantity. Then we have MRP. MRP, or sometimes you call it I told you we call it maximum retail price. Okay, maximum maximum retail price, MRP, maximum retail price. Then we have another one down here. Let's have something like really not selling price. Yeah, we have selling price. That is right. So SP selling price, or we call it rate. Okay, selling price stroke rate. Okay, so it's going to be in the table of rate. So this is actually, let us remove here and then write here rate for the sake of databases. So we have rate, then we have created that and updated us and then action. So that one is complete. Our table is our list is complete. So let's check everything is okay. So when we come to our project and refresh this page here, you can see that we already have our stock list page. Okay, and our table is smartly formed. So what next? We are going to work on how to add. So we are going to work on our add page. Okay, so let's get the add. First of all, we get the URL. So we have add stock, add stock, and in our add stock we are going to public function. It's not create, but we are calling it add stock. Okay, add new stock, none. We have stock admin. Okay, so that is going to call for us that page. So already it is there. Let me just close this for now. Then we come to our add. So we are saying add new stock, and here we call it stock. Let me check. Okay, stock, and we come to add create. Okay, stock create, that's okay. So it is stocks. Okay, stocks, everything is stocks. We need to copy this to avoid any confusion, and then we paste it here. Okay, we are not going to upload any image for this tutorial, so let's just remove this. Sometimes removing extra codes which are not being used is important because it avoids scripts loading and slowing down the page. So we are not going to use image, so the reason why we don't need that one. Yeah, so let me just come to list here and see if we have here list. Also we need to change this one URL to perfectly reflect what we have. Okay, that is fine for the list. And we have had continue with the add. So we have the first add we have is uh, the first one that we had is called medicine. So just right here, medicine, medicine. Okay, so what we are going to use there in the medicine line is actually we are going to use the drop down in that case to list down all the medicines. So let's just first of all remove everything here. Just need to remove everything here. Okay, let me see. I remove everything here and leave just one. So let me work on that first one. Okay, yeah, so we are going to be, so under the medicine, so I've said that we're going to use select. Let's remove this, let's remove everything there, and then we use select. Okay, so we have the medicine ID as we have declared it from our database, and then we just use a medicine. Okay, like that. Let me see, there is something that we need to do. Yeah, so for each medicines as medicine. Okay, Let us just go to our medicine controller here, and we need just to add one function. So under the add stock here, we just need to add another one. Let's call it medicine. Okay, so let me bring whatever we have here. We have medicines here, and then we bring here. Okay, so let's check from the medicine. Is not from the medicine. We don't have, this is supposed to be coming from the medicine, not from the stock model. So this is from medicines model. So let's get to the medicine models and check if we have written that function for. Yeah, so this is medicine model. So we had the get record is already written, which is has got this function. Okay, so that function is completely there. So meaning that if we bring in this, we fetch data by ID and we get the medicine name. So we come to this table, and the table medicines, we can see that the name, the column here is called name. Okay, so we are going to fetch all the available medicines there. All right, so let's just refresh this and come to add new. We can see that we have listed all the available medicines. So when we are going to sell, we are going to select like that, and then we continue downwards. Okay, so let's continue with the other parts which are remaining. So we have already implemented that part for medicine, and then now we are going to implement the next one is of course we have quantity. Let me just put quantity there because it's going to be there. But before that, we come back to our table here. We have medicine. We okay, let me just see. We have medicine, we have batch ID. Okay, let me just click on our database, which is stock. So we have batch ID. So batch ID, we for now we are going just to use text field. So let me put this called let's use this as batch ID. Yeah, we will create that later on. So we are just going to use a text field for the batch ID to track batches. Okay, and then we have expiry date. Expiry date. So let's just say this div group, a div form group, and then our level is going to be expiry date. Okay, name expiry date, and then let me see, what do we have again? We have quantity, that's fine. So quantity, that is fine. So we are going down beneath the quantity, we are going to add MRP. Okay, so div plus form group. Sometimes my autocomplete is bringing issues. So the form group, then we have this one is going to be for MRP. Okay, so now let's put numbers. That's okay. MRP. Let's put numbers. So MRP, as we already stated down in the list here, MRP means maximum retail price. So you can also add the same here so that we know. So maximum, we call it maximum retail. So maximum retail price. And then we have, after MRP, we have rate. Okay. So we call it rate. So rate also we use numbers. So the rate also we have stated here is selling price. Okay. So let's just add here so that it is clear to everyone that we are talking about the selling price. So let's refresh this and see how the page looks like. You can see how our page looks like. So right now, so we are set and we are ready to go. When you click on this, date comes. So you can use a style to style up this date to be better than this, but in my case I will just use whatever I have here. Yeah, so after that, now what we need to do is to, the form is ready to submit. We have the CSRF field method is there. So now let's write the function that stores the stock into the database. Okay, so we are going to add this public function store. Okay, so in the store we are going to use request. We need just to use request, very important. And yeah, so we are going to use our stock model. So we are going to use save. Let me just first of all put everything the way it is, and then we comment out this. So we dd, we dd to see how, what we are going to expect. So when we enter, we fill in this form, so we get this date. Let me just select a date which is current. So when 2026, let me just use January. And yeah, so let me use January 2026. And then I take the 12 per now. Then the selling rate is this is the maximum retail price, and I submit. Okay, so you see these are the details that we are getting. So we are getting the medicine ID, batch ID, expiry date, quantity, MRP, which we are having here. So expiry date is the same, expiry date, yeah, the same thing. Yeah, so meaning that we are ready to submit that. So let me just copy. So we declare the variable save as new stock model, and we are saving medicine ID, and we request, this is what we are getting from the form, medicine ID. So it is here, medicine ID, paste. Then we have save quantity. Okay, let me just use this in chronological. So we have batch ID, medicine ID, we have save. Okay, just save batch ID instead of supplier. Then we have expiry date. So we have quantity. Okay, let's just put this as expiry date and expiry date. Then we have this one for quantity. Then we have MRP which is here, then rate. Okay, so we just need to paste mrp, mrp, then we are having rate. Okay, rate here, then we save, then we return redirect to stock. Let me see, is that what we have? So you must write this url properly. That one is lacking s, right? So you must ensure that you write stock url, then with success message, stock added successfully. So ensure also for you to achieve this message that in the stock list you have this message, include message, which we already created. We have it here, right here on the outside. We placed it outside. Okay, so let me just see, if you close the resources, we have the message is supposed to be under the resources. So let me just close the admin, close the view, close the roots view. Yeah, we have the message under the views here. So message.blade.php. Okay, so let's comment out this, the controller, comment out the dd function, and you refresh this page, and we are going to achieve success message, meaning that a record has been inserted into this database. We have one record. Okay, yeah, so that is how we are adding the stock. So I'm going to create other functions, but in our next tutorial we are going to see how, in our next tutorial we are going to see how to list, edit, update, and then delete from the database, the stock database. Okay, otherwise, thank you for watching this tutorial. Bye bye.